Hey, welcome to another video where I try to build something cute because I've been inspired by all the Sims builders' Instagram accounts and end up failing. Jokes aside though, I kind of like how this farmhouse turned out. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty, and I mean plenty of things to improve on, but you know what? I would have my Sims live here. As you can probably tell, all of my recent videos have been very much inspired by the last expansion pack, Cottage Living, and it's not only because we don't get any new Sims content besides the insane amount of weirdly specific overpriced small bundles of furniture or greatest Sim items, but also because since it has been announced, it has become my absolute favorite pack. And you know how when you get a new pack, whether it's a game pack or an expansion pack, there's always going to be something missing. It will either have great creative sim items but then be worse at build items, or have great build items but lack of new gameplay. Well, this pack has pretty much everything. It has great creative sim items from hair to clothes, both male and female, which is kind of surprising since we always have a lack of nice clothes for our male characters, or not necessarily a lack of nice clothes, a lack of clothes for male characters. And then when you get to build using this pack, you realize that it also has everything you would ever want when it comes to building. The furniture is adorable, the cluttered decoration items are the cutest we have ever had, and do I even need to mention the gameplay? You get cows, bunnies, foxes, llamas. I don't think there will ever be a pack that beats this one for me personally. When I have my own place, if I ever have my own place, I would like it to be a farmhouse. Just get an old house somewhere in the countryside, restore it myself, buy furniture from flea markets and make it completely my own, then get animals like cows and chickens, bake pies in my free time and learn to can food for the winter. I could sew my own clothes and go for long walks along the river, which is a big reason why I love this pack so much. It pretty much lets me live out my dream life in The Sims. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about the build now. The part that I struggle with the most is actually building the frame of the house. I have no clue where to place the windows or how to make the roof look decent. I feel like I always build a house too big and then it looks odd because I don't really know how to decorate it from the outside. So while the inside is very lived in and cluttered, the outside is completely empty and I just hate that about my builds. I tried to add some vines and stuff like that, but I don't know, it still feels too bare. Maybe if I actually built more then I would get better at it, but it just gets me so discouraged when I see the final build. It took me 2 hours to build and it looks very much unfinished. I think it ties in with the fact that I'm not too sure how to landscape either, so basically what I'm trying to say is that I'm bad at every aspect of building in this game. My favorite part is the furnishing. I feel way more comfortable and confident in that. Not that I'm great at it, by no means am I a good interior designer, but somehow that part makes me happy. It's way more fun and way less frustrating. And we started furnishing this build from the bathroom. I never know if I should include a bathroom in my builds because when I watch other people's videos, they often exclude the bathroom and say that it's kind of boring to watch that part because it's kind of all the same in every build. And I honestly don't know. Maybe they're right, but I also think that they can't all be exactly the same, right? If at least the walls and the floors are different, then I think it would already be fun to watch to at least get some inspiration. So I decided to include the bathroom furnishing part in my video because I like how it turned out. I love the kind of matching walls and floors. I love that it's not the usual beige or white or black bathroom. It's kind of funky, colorful and fun. Has a lot of character with the fancy looking bathtub and a blue round rug. Whenever I furnish places like this one, I like to add mismatched furniture. I just think maybe the sim who lives here thrifted most of this stuff, which I think makes the place way more cute and personal than having absolutely everything matching and brand new. Moving on to the bedroom, we have this adorable red wallpaper with flowers on it. Using this wallpaper immediately makes the place warm and cozy, but I do think the bed is what really defines the bedroom. I know, crazy, right? So I chose this bed that has a frame which reminds me of hospital bed frames in horror movies, but also fits this farmhouse vibe we're going for here. It took me a while to choose the color swatch for it because I knew that whatever color I choose for this bed, it's going to be the kind of accent color for the whole room, if not the whole build. So I felt really pressured for some reason. But I ended up going for this yellow color. It looked nice with the red, plus I knew I had plenty of decoration items to choose from that would match with the bed. Then we have some wood details because really it wouldn't be a farmhouse if it didn't have these cool dark wooden floors and different wood textures all around the place. I added way too many things on the bedside table and this vanity, which I just love. It fits the theme perfectly. Finished it up with some vintage paintings and these yellow curtains, and we are done with the bedroom. Moving on to the kitchen, it takes up most of the living space. I could have made it half the size to be fair, but for some reason I decided that it would be a good idea to not have a living room and just have a huge kitchen. But I do think a sim who lives here would spend most of their time outside. At least that's what I tell myself to make me feel better about my terrible layout decisions. But let's just say they spend most of their day gardening and taking care of the animals and need the huge kitchen because they have to can food for the winter and also because they love baking. Speaking of the kitchen, I decided to go for yellow counters. I think they fit well into the rest of the build and they make the space feel very bright and colorful, which makes it very fun to be in. There's also way too many big windows in the kitchen and I wanted to use curtains on them, but that just looked super weird for some reason. I just couldn't find ones that would improve the look, not make it look worse. So we go for the no curtains kitchen look. But I think it's fine. They have their own little plot of land, so no one would be creepily looking into your kitchen anyway. Plus, I always imagine it's nice to look out the window when you're doing the dishes. I mean, it has to be better to look out the window than to stare at a blank wall while you're doing it. Another thing I absolutely adore about this kitchen are the wooden walls. I think they give it such a nice character. Wow, I'm being fancy with my words today. They make the kitchen way more rustic and I just think it fits so well with the whole country living theme that this kitchen has going on. And then way too many decorations later, we move on to the entryway area of the house. I did my best to make these entryway areas separated from the kitchen, which was kind of hard to do since this house is pretty much one big kitchen. I mean, it's right there as soon as you walk in, but I still wanted there to be some detail like a shoe rack or a coat hanger or maybe an umbrella rack and a nice rug. One thing I do think this house is missing is plants. I did add a few here and there, but I think it would benefit from more plants since it is kind of a country living farmhouse. And when I think of a farmhouse for some reason, I like to imagine there would be a decent amount of plants. And lastly, we add a huge fireplace and the rocking chair just so there is some kind of a living room space in this house and not just the kitchen and a bedroom, you know. And lastly, the landscaping. And oh boy, am I bad at landscaping. But it's fine, bear with me. We're gonna have a shed for a brown cow and 2 chicken coops. When I first started playing with this expansion pack, I used to always build like a little pen for the chickens, and I think that's absolutely adorable and makes it way easier to manage them. However, I have changed things up a bit and I didn't add a fence around the chicken coop. I just imagined it would be so cute to just have them all wandering around the whole lot, maybe paying a visit to the farm, or just seeing them wandering about as you bake a raspberry pie in the kitchen. Then they feel like more of a part of the whole build and part of the family. We also have a picnic table where your Sims can have lunch or dinner, or maybe eat the raspberry pie that they just made. And that's honestly pretty much it for this build. I did add an easel and also the horseshoe game because I thought it needs at least some kind of way to gain fun, as if taking care of 16 chickens and a cow wasn't fun enough. And also, I think it's nice to include some kind of a skill building item, so an easel it is. And then now you'll just see me struggle placing a bunch of trees and plants around them to make this place feel less empty. And I do think it turned out alright in that sense. I do love the little path that I added. I wish I could have fit a little pond somewhere in this build to have fireflies and ducks. That would have been so cute. But there wasn't really space for that, so maybe next time. Also, maybe next time I will spend more time trying to make the outside of the house look decent instead of cluttering up the inside. This time I have to admit I kind of gave up halfway just because it just wasn't looking any better no matter how many vines I added. But that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you liked it, and if you do like the house, you can download it on the Sims 4 gallery. I didn't use any custom content, so anyone with most of the packs should be able to enjoy the build. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you very soon. Bye!